Hello, this is Claire Sheldon, founder of Prospective Student Athlete College Counseling, offering advice and guidance for junior golfers on tournament planning, game development, and college recruiting. I'm presenting today with help from Chris Carpenter and the Junior Select team of coaches. The focus of today's presentation is on competitive junior golf, how to select tournaments, prepare for competition, and perform the best you can. I'd like to start with this quote from Bobby Jones. There's golf, and then there's tournament golf. This is a great quote, and one that any golfer who's played in a competitive setting can probably relate to. For background, Bobby Jones was one of the greatest amateur golfers of all time. Even though he was an amateur, he was also one of the best golfers in the world, winning 13 major championships, including a Grand Slam in 1930, which at the time meant winning the British Amateur, British Open, US Open, and then US Amateur in the same year. Needless to say, he knew what he was talking about when it came to competition and playing your best. Something happens in tournament golf. It challenges you in a way that is different from a casual round or practice session. As a result, we need to account for those challenges and differences and prepare in a way that will give us a better chance of producing a better outcome. So if competition is so hard and different from the rest of golf, why do we do it? Why do we compete? The simple answer is that it's usually really fun to compete. And because the stakes are higher and the conditions are more challenging, doing well feels that much more rewarding. There are few things better than working really hard on something you really care about and getting to see that hard work pay off. But it's not just about having fun and winning. As you can see, there are many reasons why playing in a tournament is a worthwhile endeavor for juniors who are looking to get more out of golf and advance their level of play. Everyone has slightly different motivations for competing, and within the broad umbrella of competition, every tournament has a different purpose based on individual goals and motivations. Before signing up for a tournament, kids should make sure they know their purpose by asking themselves about their motivations and what they hope to get out of an event. Specifically, what will make the tournament feel like a success. Keep in mind that while shooting a good score is something we always strive to do, it is by no means the only thing we want to do in a tournament. There are likely many other things that will make you feel like you are improving and becoming a better golfer. Take the time to really think about your purpose and set goals. Then, after the tournament, make sure that you measure yourself against the goals that you set. For example, don't talk about how many times you left your putts just short if distance control on putting wasn't one of your focus items for the day. Parents, you have the opportunity to help your kids in this regard. Try to be on the same page as your kids. Before signing up for a tournament, and before the tournament starts, ask your son or daughter to share his or her purpose. Then, after the tournament, you can help reinforce that purpose and ensure that kids are focused on the appropriate things. All that being said, you're probably still wondering how to go about selecting tournaments. Here's a list of factors to consider when selecting tournaments. As you browse through different tournament options, you'll want your purpose to be one of your primary guides. Continually ask yourself, what am I hoping to get out of this tournament when you're thinking about adding an event to your schedule? There are a number of different junior golf tours. You can see them listed in blue at the bottom of this slide, and I've included links to each tour's webpage at the end of the presentation. This graphic should give you a good sense of the different levels of competition within each tour. This is a good guide to get you started. I generally recommend competing at multiple levels at the same time. This enables you to, in theory, compete in tournaments in which you are one of the better players and tournaments in which you are one of the less experienced players. Playing at multiple levels usually allows you to build confidence while building experience. Beyond your purpose and goals for each tournament, you should also think about your goals for the future. What do you want to accomplish down the road, next year, 2 years from now, etc.? And what can you do this summer to better prepare yourself for that next step? This should help you determine what you need to be doing now so that you can get where you want to be in the future. All tournaments are not created equal. You probably consider some as being more important to you than others. There are some in which you feel your performance matters more than others. Let your short and long-term goals guide your decision-making and tournament selections. So when you're building your schedule, start by identifying the tournaments that matter most to you, the tournaments in which you most want to play well. Given that these tournaments will challenge you in your game more than others, You should prepare for them accordingly, using other tournaments to gain experience and practice the skills you will need for peak performance. Think about what you need to do to feel confident and sharp going into a tournament, and try to design a schedule that will enable you to achieve that. Also keep in mind that what you think you need to feel sharp may not be what actually helps you play your best. How you prepare best is a fluid concept, one that will likely change as your game develops. Try to pay attention to opportunities to develop new ways of practicing. Here's another graphic to help you see how different tournaments have different purposes. No matter what your level of play, you should have tournaments in at least 2 different levels of importance. Ones that you really care about playing well in, and others that help you prepare for those bigger events. I've talked a lot about how you can use one tournament to help you prepare to compete in future tournaments. There's also a lot you can and should do outside of tournament competition to be prepared. Once you've created your schedule, consider the role of non-competition practice in your overall preparation. Think about what parts of your game need work. Are there skills you need to develop to feel more confident? Do you have questions about how to execute a certain kind of shot? If so, ask. You have great resources at your disposal. What kinds of things do you need to do away from the golf course to feel your best and prepare your body and mind for competition? Interestingly, our mentality is the only real difference between golf and tournament golf. The course isn't any different, although having a practice round and knowing the course can help, and our game really isn't any different either. How we think during competition can be quite different, though. Like everything else, practicing competing and preparing our mind can be incredibly helpful. One unique part of preparing for competition is a practice round. Not all tournaments offer practice rounds, but they're a great opportunity when they are available. If one of your high importance tournaments does not offer a practice round, and you haven't seen the course before, you might look into whether there is some other way for you to see the course before competition. Either independently scheduling a practice round if the course is public, politely reaching out to any members you know personally at private clubs, or looking for course maps online. When you get to the course, either on the day of your practice round or on the day of competition if you don't have a practice round, ask someone in the pro shop whether they have yardage books and for any general advice they might have regarding the course. Chances are they'll have some valuable insight. Now, the goal of the practice round is to help you learn the course. You should plan out each hole, considering shot lines, landing targets, and certain things you might want to avoid. You should also pay close attention to the green speed and undulation. Are there any shots that the course calls for that you do not have or feel confident with? If so, spend some time practicing those shots during and after the practice round. People often ask or wonder whether they should keep score during a practice round. Now, everybody is different, but almost all of the best players in the world do not keep score during a practice round. Shooting a good score just isn't the purpose of what they're out there trying to do during a practice round. That being said, it can be helpful to play 3 or 4 holes during the round in which you do keep score as you would during a tournament. This will help you maintain focus and learn more about the greens. On to the logistics of the days leading up to the tournament. Make sure you have everything you'll need for the tournament the day before the tournament starts. If you don't have something you need, make sure you get it. All these factors listed, having the right equipment and clothing, getting to the course on time, knowing the weather, they're very easily under your control. Put the effort into getting them right. It's worth it, I promise. It can also be helpful to remind yourself of why you chose to play in this tournament and what you hope to get out of the tournament. Again, what will make it feel like a success? And what items do you want to focus on during the round? Having a clear picture of these things and making sure they're fresh in your mind the day before the tournament can be very helpful. On the day of the tournament, you'll want to arrive at the course with plenty of time to check in, warm up, get yourself ready, things like applying sunscreen and using the bathroom, and getting to the first tee on time. The purpose of your warm-up is just that, to warm up and get your body loose. It's not practice. Before a tournament, you're just trying to loosen up and prepare for the competition. We've all had rounds where we have a great warm-up beforehand and then hit the ball inconsistently on the course. We've also had rounds where we're practically hitting the ball sideways on the range and then play beautifully. The pre-round warm-up and playing on the course just aren't correlated, so try not to read into your warm-up before a tournament. Just use it for what it is and do your best. Remember to focus on finding the wind, your balance, and your shot, and don't neglect your short game. After you arrive at the first tee, remember to mark your balls and count your clubs. Again, these are two items that are completely under your control, so it's essential that you get them right. Doing the small things well makes a big difference. Finally, review your plan for the first hole and start to visualize your first tee shot, making a few swings with the club you'll hit off the first tee. You've put in the work, now just go play your game. Focus on the controllable factors and the items you've selected for the day. Sound decision making, especially early in the season, is important and sometimes hard to do when your game is inconsistent or changing. When in doubt, strive to avoid big numbers by making smart choices and taking your medicine when necessary. This will make a big difference in your score at the end of the day. Positive posture and body language are great controllable factors to focus on, especially early in the season. When things are going well, these things come easily. We're happy-go-lucky, and everything is positive. When things aren't going well, everything seems difficult, and it's easy to get down on yourself and have that reflected in your body language. Even if you're experiencing self-doubt or negative emotions, maintaining positive posture and body language can actually help you rebuild confidence and get you back on track. Many golfers, not just juniors, feel that if they don't look upset when they aren't playing well, others will think that they're okay with how they're playing, that their current play is normal and they just aren't that good. Having negative body language is your way of conveying to yourself and others, I want you to know that I'm better than this. This doesn't help anyone, least of all yourself. If you want to play well, do the things you do when you are playing well, all of the time, regardless of how you're actually playing. And no matter what, remember that you're doing something that you love and that it should be fun. Take the time after the round to evaluate how you did on your focus items. Did you achieve your goals? If not, what could you have done to give yourself a better chance of achieving your goals? There's a nice reflection exercise called Good, Better, How, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Ask yourself, what went well, what could have been better, and how can you make it better for the future? I really like this exercise because it allows you to focus on the positives, things you did well, while also evaluating the negatives in the context of how you can improve them. At least part of the purpose for every tournament is learning and developing your game. Taking the time to evaluate your play and identify what areas of your game need work is important if you're going to achieve your purpose. Be realistic with yourself and avoid hyperbole when speaking about things that don't go well. Parents, if you see your kids going down an unhelpful path or getting down on themselves, remind them of their focus. Finally, kids, make sure you thank your parents for their support and enabling you to do something you truly enjoy. Playing in tournaments requires a big investment of their time and resources, and they love to watch you play. Just make sure you tell them what their support means to you. Now, a few more general notes on tournament planning. Be sure to spread out your tournaments so that you have time to work on your game in between events. Getting better doesn't happen simply by playing in tournaments. It requires dedication, clear focus, time, and effort. Make sure you put the time into improving your game away from the course. Taking a break is really healthy and often a good thing. The summer is short and there are likely other things that are not golf related, that you'll want to do with family and friends. Take the time to enjoy those things, even if it means taking time away from golf. If golf isn't fun, or you feel like it's taking you away from too many other things that you enjoy, take another look at your goals. Do you really want them? Why do they matter to you? And what are you realistically willing to do in order to achieve them? If you're thinking about the possibility of playing golf in college, you're likely wondering how different tournaments factor into college recruiting and what type of experience you need. Tournament performance is a primary factor in college recruiting. So are academics and your personal qualities and non-golf accomplishments. One of the best things you can do for yourself if you're interested in playing golf in college is to develop a true love of the game and the process of working to advance your level of play. This mindset and work ethic will get you far and will get you noticed by coaches. College coaches will start to pay attention to tournament results during the summer after your freshman year. At this stage, they're looking for potential and care a lot more about your good results than your less than stellar performances. So again, don't get hung up on any single tournament result. Recruiting doesn't pick up until the summers after sophomore and junior year. You have more time than you think. When it comes to high school golf, this level of competition isn't really a factor in college recruiting. Summer tournament golf is much more competitive and a much better predictor of college golfing ability. The AJGA is the primary platform for college recruiting. However, it's not the only platform. There are many other great tournaments out there through which you can demonstrate your level of play to college coaches. Coaches care about your tournament results because your prior performance is often a good indicator of your future success. The other factors in your future success are your goals and how hard you're willing to work to make them happen. This is where your prior experience in goal setting and attaining those goals can be very helpful in recruiting. Think carefully about what you really want and let your goals guide you. Your commitment to your goals will help you in the recruiting process, and coaches will ask you about them. For more information on the college recruiting process, how to make yourself a better junior golfer and a stronger prospect, and how to communicate with coaches, please visit www.psacollegecounseling.com. PSACC is a great resource for prospective student athletes and families who want more information or guidance navigating competitive junior golf and the college recruiting process. We work one-on-one along with Chris and the Junior Select team of coaches to help junior golfers build a personalized tournament schedule and plan for improvement. Many thanks for taking the time to listen today, and I hope you found this information helpful.